everyone.
What's up guys, Unofficial MCU here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we have major news into the regards of the Marvel Thunderbolts movie, everything that's going on with the actor yeun, who is supposed to take on the role of Sentry in this Thunderbolts movie, and also presumably in the future of the MCU there as well. We're going to be discussing, breaking it all down here in this video. Of course, we're going to go ahead and hop right on into it. Before we do though, however, grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're discussing and covering all types of Marvel related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel, so if you guys are into any of that, go ahead and grab that subscribe button today. Marvel Studios has unfortunately seemingly lost a major actor for one of its upcoming 2025 Phase 5 films, that there being the Thunderbolts. Recently, the MCU has been going through a lot of different changes for a variety of reasons, by which we're keeping you guys updated with all of it here on the channel, as I had mentioned. Creative differences and massive delays caused by the historic Hollywood strikes last year, to name a couple. The multiversal saga just fired its Kang the Conqueror actor, Jonathan Majors, unfortunately. Daredevil is getting a huge retooling as well, and the Blade movie is, believe it or not, still getting rewrites. It's like on its 5th rewrite at this point, and so many more other things. And now, Marvel Studios just cannot catch a break, as they seem to have lost yeun, not starring in the Thunderbolts movie as the Sentry. The Hollywood Reporter recently broke and had announced that yeun will no longer be starring in the Marvel Studios' upcoming 2025 film, Thunderbolts. While his involvement was never officially confirmed or announced by Marvel themselves, which definitely does give them a bit of a leeway, like it's not as bad as the Jonathan Majors case that had gone on just like a couple of weeks ago, it makes it not as bad pretty much. Like they're able to like kind of silently recast it essentially, but a lot of different rumors and news and leaks were saying that yeun was going to be playing this role here as well. His casting was first reported by the Hollywood Reporter back in February of last year, so nearly a year ago, with it later being revealed that he would be playing the character named Sentry. No reasoning behind the change is necessarily given, other than what I've been hearing is that it's simply just scheduling conflicts, really. But it wouldn't be all that surprising if the cause is rooted in the many delays caused by last year's WGA and SAG-AFTRA, the Hollywood strikes, pretty much. As into the sense of that the Thunderbolts movie was supposed to have already been like underway, and its filming was actually supposed to have been done over the summer last year in 2023, and so now whatever yeun's other movies, projects, shows, everything else that he might have be going on is simply taking up whatever that new slot is that the Thunderbolts now is looking to begin its filming probably this upcoming summer of 2024, and instead he's just busy with other things essentially. Also probably taking on an MCU role, any Marvel role, you know, just given is that you're going to not necessarily be stuck playing that role, but you're going to be a part of that role for the foreseeable future pretty much, like the next 10 plus years pretty much. You're going to be attached to that role, and you're going to have to be available to take on that role and those casting calls essentially. Like if they need you for a movie, a show, a project, whatever the case may be, you're probably going to get that top priority and kind of get stuck with that. Although what I have heard is that like Marvel Studios isn't necessarily doing like full-on contracts like they did originally for like Chris Evans and like Chris Hemsworth and Robert Downey Jr., like the original Avengers essentially, but kind of like same thing is applying though, however, for the newer Marvel movies there, of course. Thunderbolts will also star Florence Pugh, David Harbour, Wyatt Russell, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Olga Kurylenko, Ayo Edebiri, Sebastian Stan, and so many more. I do apologize if I mispronounced anybody's name there. And for as of right now, the film itself is set to release on July 25th of 2025. So that there being said, it will probably actually look to begin its filming in the spring and over the summer here as well, as we're approaching that this year. So this year all being said, what is next for the character of the Sentry, and maybe possibly potentially yeun? Like there's still that potential that he could be back. I was really honestly had my heart set on this actor. I really love him in The Walking Dead. I love him in the animated Invincible show there, of course. Many are undoubtedly upset by this news as yeun departs the superpowered franchise without ever actually having him make an appearance. Yeun is a great actor, and losing him is awful, no matter the circumstance. Hopefully this departure is not the result of any ill between the parties. After all, Thunderbolts is still being written and directed by Beef Jake Schrader, who of course yeun recently starred in as the leading role, and worked closely with yeun on the streaming show. So I doubt it's anything to do with creative differences or having, you know, pun intended, beef between any of the other actors or creatives working on the Thunderbolts movie. It really has to probably just be having that scheduling conflict there. While there's plenty of speculation that this was caused caused by the delays stemming from the recent strikes over last year, some cannot help but worry that perhaps this happened due to the news of the actor's role leaking through Robert Kirkman, like into the fact that Marvel Studios saw him in his role for the Sentry and the Thunderbolts movie being leaked around, and that's something that they didn't want, so they would have actually taken him off of that. I honestly highly doubt that to be the case though. However, with Marvel Studios, they've had plenty of other cases of where actors and their roles are getting leaked around, and they have never really done anything before about it, so why start now, essentially? Although I will say what other thing may play into that there, however, gives us that more confirmation, is actually the Invincible creator of the animated show also accidentally revealed that his good friend Steven Yeun had actually had a costume fitting for the Sentry role in the Thunderbolts, so that's all the more confirmation that he would be taking on the role, and I think it even, honestly, at that puts it more of a step closer to Steven Yeun would be playing the role. However, maybe this could, this is a stretch, okay, but maybe this whole is a false report, essentially. They're saying Steven Yeun isn't going to be playing the character anymore in the Thunderbolts to throw everyone off, and people stop covering it, essentially. But now someone will need to be picking up this empty yellow Sentry suit though, however, so let's just play it off with the fact that okay, maybe it is for real. They aren't trying to downplay it, essentially. Marvel is coming up with their own rumors to throw everyone off, essentially. It would be a smart move, and honestly something similar to what we've seen Sony do with the Sonyverse, essentially, before. Sony is known to have actually leaked things themselves and play it off as actual other leakers and reporters have done it before, and are trying to build up hype and attention for it, essentially. So moving on, aside from all that, the previous fan favorite choices had included Alexander Skarsgård, Anthony Starr, who's famous for playing the Homelander in The Boys, and of course Ryan Gosling, to actually instead take on the role of the Sentry. I will say Anthony Starr would be a perfect fit for this character. Hopefully though, Marvel Studios will choose to comment on the situation soon, especially as it looks to begin filming over the summer, so very much soon. We'll have to get an official casting announcement into those regards as well, for what to actually anticipate, an official announcement from Marvel Studios, essentially, to kind of start building up some hype here for the Thunderbolts movie, essentially, which could help curb the speculation that is already running quite rampart. And so overall, this year all being said, it looks that Steven Yeun has officially stepped away from taking on the role of the Sentry in the Thunderbolts movie. For those of you that aren't necessarily familiar, the Sentry is very similar to what Adam Warlock kind of was in the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 movie, but I think taken a lot more seriously into that matter there as well. The Thunderbolts movie itself is often been described as the DC's Suicide Squad movie, essentially. It's supposed to play with a lot more of those darker tones and themes, although only time will tell. The movie itself isn't officially rated R, but many are, fingers crossing for that. Anyway guys, this year all being said, let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been Unofficial MCU. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. Peace out.